Hey everybody, come on in. We're going to do a daytime live stream. Have a little chat because things are not okay. So I felt like we needed to talk. I know I need to talk. So come on in and hang out a little while and we're going to discuss the situation. We're going to talk a little bit about it. Hey Helen, good to see you. We're doing a daytime thing. We're going to try this out. I need to vent a little. Hey Kilo, I need to talk. So I feel like everybody does because I do. So, no, I'm just kidding. I need to. I don't know how this will go. I just want to talk about some things and get some things off my chest. I'll let you know, Babas thinks I'm too upset. So I'll let you be the judge of that. Am I too upset or am I right on time? Is this the right level of being upset? I think we all need to be extremely upset. I think we need to be very worried because things are not okay. This is not okay. What's happening right now, the reason why it seems so crazy is because it is. It doesn't make any sense because it shouldn't. It's insanity what's going on. All around the world, and not just with this primary, we're going to get into that, we're going to talk about that, but also with this coronavirus and this worldwide panic over a cold, which is basically all it is. And we could talk more about that if you want to. We're going to get into a lot of things. There is mass fear and mass propaganda being used on all kinds of levels right now. Things are very scary and things are not okay. And everybody needs to be aware and wake up to that. Now, I know a lot of times I'm preaching to the choir because I'm heavily shadow banned on every platform that I'm on. Everything that I do is against the official narrative, goes against what is popular speech, and is being suppressed because everything I do on all the videos and streams that we do, the main thing that ties them all together is truth. Truth is something that's being killed, something that's being eliminated. And the world is a web of lies. We literally do live in a matrix. Things are not okay. So, what do we do? That's what we got to figure out. There are a lot of us, and we're very passionate, we're very caring people. We don't agree on everything, but we do agree that things are very, very bad. And we need to do something to make them better. Something big. And what we need to do is wake up the masses, enough people. Get enough people awake and aware so that it's not so damn uncomfortable to be awake and aware. It sucks being informed. If you inform yourself and you're aware of what's really going on in the world, it's an uncomfortable situation to be in. Because most people aren't. Most people don't inform themselves. They're walking around with a computer in their pocket and they don't take the time to learn or question anything. They just believe what they're told. Take the input that's put into their head by the little flickering box in their living room and focus only on their little world. And they think that that is an accurate view of the outside world, when that is all lies and propaganda. It's terrifying. And like I said, Babos thinks I'm overreacting. But I don't think I am. I think everyone is underreacting. And if you are informed and you are aware of what's going on, you probably feel the same way. It's terrifying. This is insanity. Kilo says, I'm starting to think that the masses don't care. They're conditioned to keep playing the rat race. They're in love with it. They are willfully ignorant. Now, I try not to get mad at the average person because I try to always remember that they are under a heavy, heavy amount of indoctrination, of brainwashing, of weaponized propaganda. But you're walking around with a computer in your pocket. You have access to this information. I can stay pretty well informed living in the middle of Cornfield, Missouri. I am not connected to anything but the computer in my pocket. And I keep myself pretty well informed on world events and what's going on. It's pretty easy, actually. So it is willful ignorance. You are remaining stupid by choice. And it's frustrating because you're holding back humanity. And it has to do with everything. Steve says that he thinks Bernie will drop out today or tomorrow. You know what? That would be probably the most disappointing thing that had ever happened to me in my life. And if he does that, honestly, I'm done with him. I'm done with him. If Steve's prediction is right and Bernie drops out, I'm honestly done with him because we're only like 150 delegates behind. And we were never going to win the damn delegates to begin with. And if he was to do that, and I hope that we're smart enough to continue on without him because this must happen. The people must continue to rise up. And I'm not going to focus on that comment too much because I understand how hurt we are. I would be amazed if Bernie was to drop out. That would be a blow to progressives, to people like you and me, to people that are passionate and are doing all we can in this fight. That would be a devastating blow psychologically. That would put him on the side of the enemy. There are so many reasons why I can't fathom the idea of him doing that. And I don't even know if that's the right word. I'm so thrown by your comment. But I hope to God you're wrong, Steve. I love you, brother, but I hope you're wrong. Yeah, Dion, I hope not. I hope not. I can't see it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand the logic behind him doing that. That would be a devastating blow to us. And Jack is right. It is the DNC cheating. And we're not going to focus too much on this, so I don't want to run off anybody because I don't want the political stuff to keep us from having a productive conversation. I really want us to have a productive conversation on what we do to wake people up, to get people to open their eyes, to see that things are very wrong. Because I know no matter how any one of us feels about politics, we all understand that things are very, very, very wrong. And massive change needs to happen. And a massive awakening is the only thing that will make that happen. It is people believing in these lies and building their reality around these lies that is keeping us held back and held down. So no matter how we feel, we have to wake people up. We have to inform them and get them involved and get them to believe that they can do something. First off, there's another problem besides the willful ignorance, and it is weakness. People like to be led around. They feel afraid. They live their lives in fear. They are afraid. Like someone said the other day, Ginger, if she's here, she had pointed out the other day that they can't think big. And I think it's out of fear. They're afraid that they will lose the little scraps that they have. that they will lose what they've managed to attain for themselves inside of this rigged up system, this greed driven system. They're satisfied with their scraps, and they don't feel like they can get anything better because, again, the little flickering box in the living room tells them that they can't. I don't even think that the people on the right are against most of this stuff. For the most part. Some of them are. I realize that. Some of them are. Just because they don't want to see someone else have something they don't feel they're worthy of. I get that. But a lot of people would be in favor of Bernie or bust and the revolution and what's happening in this change if they understood that it's possible. But they buy into the lies that there's nothing that can be done. And yeah, Dion, we do need to see Bernie and Joe Dementia debate, but we're not gonna. You know, they've cut him down to 7-minute speeches, and he couldn't even handle that. He would get torn to shreds in a debate. We all know that. What's going on is insanity, what's going on with the Democrats. And it's not the only insanity that's going on. They're stifling worldwide uprisings with a cold. The coronavirus is being blown way out of proportion. And all you need to do to find out whether or not I'm wrong is go to the CDC's own website and compare the coronavirus that is supposed to be so extreme they're shutting down countries over it to the common flu. Just don't take my word for it. Please do it for yourself. And if you look into it, you find that this is a lot of fear over nothing. So not only are they rigging an election to stifle a revolution, they're trying to cripple everybody with fear over a coronavirus, which is not a new thing, by the way. The virus that's going around is actually COVID-19. A coronavirus is a cold. It's a type of virus. It's named after its shape. That's what a coronavirus is. So, and there's all kinds of things we could get into and probably should get into on a conspiracy theory show about COVID-19 and its origins. But this is being done to stifle worldwide protests, to get people to lay back down. The people are rising up. So in no matter what way it's happening, there's different strategies being used to keep the people from rising up. Whether it's terrifying them that they're going to die of an illness that has a 97% cure rate. That's true too. And they got them terrified they're going to die of the cold. Or they got them convinced that they can't have better. They can't rise up. And they're doing that, and they're trying to break our spirit by running a man, I'm not a doctor, but who something is very, very wrong with. And I think they're mocking us by doing it. Jack says people need to quit watching the mainstream media. That would be a big help. If we could take down the mainstream media and end their hold over the average person's mind, which is disturbingly strong, we could do a lot. Kilo says, if Mango Mussolini is reelected, we have only 4 years. If we fail in this revolution and fail to take down the establishment, and the only way to do that is to succeed in this revolution, or some other way, I'm open to it. The theme of this discussion is, what do we do? I'm open to some other way if I see a path to victory through it. But if this is to fail, I think America is done. Guys, I think things are about to get a whole lot worse. And I don't say that out of fear of Donald Trump. I think everybody knows that I don't suffer from TDS. I realize that Trump is a weapon being used by both sides and a distraction. And he's a fantastic distraction. And I believe the Democrats have made it extremely clear that they are willing to lose and lose big to Donald Trump. They know they would lose with Joe Biden. There's no one in the Democratic Party establishment, powers that be, I think, that believes that Joe Biden will win. Joe Biden will get destroyed by Donald Trump. Now, they can manipulate the Democratic primary process, hide Joe Biden, protect him by changing the debates to a town hall format, eliminating his speaking in public. They can hide him pretty well, actually. But when Trump gets a hold of him, that's over. That's over. So anyone that believes, that really believes that Joe Biden can win is being fooled in a massive, massive way, because the Democrats don't believe that. The DNC doesn't believe it. Jack says the stock market is dropping again today. I think we're doing much better. That's the other thing that I'm going to sidetrack for just a second and talk about. And again, I'm not getting political. I think the revolution is doing much better than people are realizing. I don't understand why everybody has such a defeated mentality right now. We are only about 150 delegates behind. They have been able to eke out a victory in certain key states through immense rigging and immense voter suppression and manipulation. In Texas, they found 44 thumb drives full of uncounted votes. There was rigging in every big state they won. And they've thrown everything they can behind Joe Biden and the entire support of the mainstream media, and all they've been able to do is barely eke out little victories. As far as the delegate count goes, he's really not that far ahead, and the delegate count never mattered to begin with. Any of us that thought we were going to win this in the voting booth, I think is a little misled. We have to overwhelm them. We're going to have to be in Milwaukee, in the streets. And this is going to lead to direct action. But hopefully Bernie understands that as well. The man is 78 years old. I really don't think that he is choosing to fight in a time of his life when he could be relaxing and enjoying his golden years. I really don't think that he's deciding to fight for us and to help lead us in the right direction towards change and progress to abandon us. I don't. I really don't. And honestly, and I may be giving the man too much credit, I don't see him accepting things the way he did in 2016. Look at the way he's talking. People keep saying, oh, he'll drop out. Really? Because he said if Joe Biden has a plurality and the popular vote, he would drop out. That's not going to happen. He's not saying if he's ahead in the delegate count, and if the superdelegates decide that I can't have the nomination, then I'll drop out. That's not what he's saying. He's saying it should be up to the people. Helen says Michigan was completely fucked up. Michigan was. There was... We need to do a whole episode covering it, but would these idiots look at it? That's what frustrates me. You know? Like, for example, because Dion, I'm trying to keep up with your comments, but I'm so rattled mentally that I'm kind of ranting a little bit. So, but Dion says he agrees about weaponizing coronavirus against protests. It's exactly what they're doing. You know, they're talking about shutting down the Olympics over a cold. They've shutting down political events. Catherine says, I'm so glad I sold all my stock and bought a house with the proceeds. Just wish it hadn't been here in Oklahoma. Kilo says they don't totally care if Biden makes it. The establishment money-making power is still intact. Bernie is a threat to all parts of the establishment. Bernie said this political revolution is the only fight going on. And what I want everyone to understand, political feelings aside, is that what this is the people taking ownership of our destiny. It's the only way progress can happen. And we can steer it wherever we want. We will be in control of it, don't you see? That's what's happening. And it needs to happen with or without Bernie Sanders. This really is a Bernie or Vest situation. This is not political. I'm not political. I don't believe in politics. I believe in this fight that's going on. I believe in the people rising up. And I believe that's the only way to real progress and change. But Steve says, do you really think they'll allow 1 million people in the streets in Milwaukee during an epidemic? Come on now, martial law. That is where we're heading. This is what's being painted. The narrative's already being laid out. Look, we see what's going on, right? We see what's happening. We will have to rise up. That's the picture I'm seeing painted. That's the writing that I'm seeing on the wall. They are setting up a narrative to start hiding Joe Biden behind a pandemic of the common cold. Now, like I said, I'm a heavily shadow banned. I don't know how we're going to get the truth out, guys. I'm very frustrated right now. I've been swinging in the dark because I've been watching my YouTube numbers fall. I have reached, over 1,000 subscribers right now on YouTube. I made a video yesterday just as an experiment on the coronavirus, just to see what would happen, comparing it to the common flu. A 5-minute video. It took them 10 minutes to put a link to the CDC on it. I don't know if you know that, but on YouTube now, as a deterrent against any truth videos or any videos saying anything outside of the accepted common narrative, they put links to their version so people can go, oh, okay, this is bullshit. Let me click on the CDC's website. What they failed to realize is every bit of information that I used in that video came from the CDC's website. Every single bit of what I said in that video came from the CDC's website. So go there, check it out, because that's where I got all my talking points. This is not an epidemic, and all you need to do is look into it. Jason says Corona equals CIA. There is a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that the coronavirus is a created bioweapon, actually. But it is a version of a cold. It's a respiratory infection, and it's not deadly. It has a 2.3% mortality rate. 2,700 people worldwide have died of the coronavirus. That sounds like a lot when you say it by itself, but over 12,000 people have died already this year worldwide from the flu. When you compare it, it's not as scary as it sounds. When you just say 2,700 people, but you don't realize you're talking about out of 8 billion. It's a very small number, and you're talking about people that would die from typical illnesses anyway. People with weak immune systems, the elderly. People under 50 and people with strong immune systems and respiratory systems have a 97% cure rate. Helen says, you really think Gates wouldn't help the Dems and further his own agenda while lining his own pockets? It's the perfect trifecta. I know that's what they're doing. I see it. It's clear as day. It's crystal clear. They're calming these worldwide uprisings. We aren't the only ones that were having an uprising. That's what this is. This is as close as the regular American people will ever get to an uprising. And if it fails, I really think we are screwed. I think that everything is getting ready to get a lot worse for Americans. Americans have been spoiled. We've been hidden from the reality of how bad this unending greed of the elites is really been for the world population. We've been protected from it because we're the military arm of the New World Order. But that is going to come to an end. You know, part of their final plans. And it's time to stop ignoring that there is an agenda and a plan because they're open about it. They're out in the open about all of it. It's ignorance that is keeping people from seeing it. Willful ignorance. It's not conspiracy talk. There is an agenda against us. Jonathan says, how many are able to analyze all information sets given and think critically and come to their own unbiased conclusions? Oh, he's replying to someone else. But I think just about anybody. You have the access to it. In your pocket. We're walking cyborgs. Shelley says, I was referring to statistics with the virus, the perspective. It's easy. The CDC's own website has pretty accurate. That's what I used for my video. There are other places you could go, but I knew what YouTube would do. That was part of the experiment. I knew that immediately they would link it. They either link it, they always do this, Wikipedia. Why is Wikipedia the establishment approved narrative and place to go for the truth? Wikipedia can be edited by anyone. You know, there's paper. You can't even submit papers in school using Wikipedia as a source because it's unreliable. But I guess the establishment has full control over it because they think it's an approved source, because they tag anything in a YouTube video that like talks about my moon stuff or 9/11 or Ruby Ridge or anything I've made about these incidences that they try to cover up or they have their own narrative for. They always link it to Wikipedia. Wikipedia or official like NASA sites and CDC. I knew they would link it to the CDC. That's why I used only stats from that website. Dion says they should call it the boomer virus as the majority of deaths are 65 plus years old. But that's true of the flu. It's true of pneumonia. It's true of extreme cases of the common cold. If you listen to actual doctors and professionals in the healthcare industry, they're telling people that this is fear for nothing. That you're not in any danger. This is not a pandemic. Kilo says the revolution needs to turn into a third party for next time. I'm done with politics. If this fails, I think politics is over. But I also believe that things are getting ready to get very bad in America. I think we've been protected. I think we've been kept from protected for too long as we're going to be protected. I think the rug's getting ready to get pulled out from under us. Call me crazy and say I'm scared and paranoid, but part of the agenda is to topple the way of life in America. Helen says the recovery rate is high, but they got people thinking they're clinging to life. It's the media making this, trying to make this into a pandemic. This is not a pandemic. It's a strong version of the cold. It's not even that strong of a version of the cold. And you're only in danger if you have a weak respiratory and immune system, and you are in danger of those type of viruses to begin with. So the type of person that needs to be afraid of the coronavirus really needs to be afraid of just about any virus. Kilo says, I'm done too after Bernie. This is the last fight politically. And this is not the political show, and I'm not going to get political here. A little bit of politics will seep in. There's just no way to avoid it. But I'm not going to judge any political views or anything like that. I just think everyone needs to understand this is the last fight, the last time there's going to be a fight politically. You're seeing it right now. I think politics is dead in this country after this election. Again, I'm the conspiracy theory guy. But does that give me more insight or less? The fact that I am aware of what's going on and understand that one of the parts of the agenda is to collapse America. Jack says, wash your hands and don't touch your face. Dude, I'm part of the George Carlin belief system on the immune system. Your body is made and has an immune system, and it needs practice. It needs things to practice on. It has to get strong. And I let the germs in. I welcome germs into my life. You know, I touch my face. I'm not afraid of germs. I don't constantly puricell my hands, you know. And I don't hardly ever get sick. So I think Carlin was on to something. I think your immune system needs to practice, needs something to get strong, build up its strength against. But we do need universal health care, y'all. It's funny how in the midst of a media manufactured pandemic, we're running full throttle, full assault against the only guy talking about giving everybody health care. Kilo says the media is covering all this relentlessly because it sells. Now, that's one reason, but the other reason is because they're trying to sell it. They're trying to sell the fear. People are very easily led if you can keep them afraid. This is for fear. This pandemic is manufactured fear propaganda. There's nothing to be afraid of here. You know, we have one of these viruses every 2 years. That's the other thing I found out from the CDC's own website. They probably didn't mean for me to get that information from there, but that's where I got it. Every 2 years, we have one of these. But this one, they're blowing way out of proportion because things are coming to a head all over the world. People are getting sick and tired of how things are and the way things are. And they are rising up all over the world, not just in America. And they're trying to scare everybody to death. Shelley says, I agree, change is coming. One way or another, change is coming. And it's going to be pretty bad if we allow it to be led by them. Jack says, I eat garlic straight, like just like an apple. Just like, I don't know if I could do that. I'd have to chase it with vodka, though. Drink OJ without the vodka, he said. I'd have to chase that garlic with vodka if I was going to eat garlic like an apple. Jack says, I smoke cannabis daily. Everybody should smoke cannabis daily. Cannabis should be in the water. You want to talk about what should be in the water? We need to get fluoride out and cannabis in. Everybody needs cannabis in their life. Cannabis will see you through. But I know that things are so bad, my weed is not strong enough. That is a problem. That is a problem. And I'm going to have to get on fixing that problem. Kilo says his cousin eats garlic too, swears by it. Like an apple? Am I right or wrong? Or just put a ton of it in everything you eat? Or just like, are you biting into a garlic? What's a garlic called anyway? What do you call a garlic? What is a single garlic? Helen says they're marketing the fear of this virus. Never heard of presumptive positive measles. They are pushing this fear. And that's all it is. But look for yourself. Check it out. It's not just me telling you. The information's out there. You can find it. They're selling a common cold as the pandemic that's going to wipe out humanity. They're talking about canceling the Olympics. Kilo says eating it like an apple. Eats it raw. Well, right on, man. My stepbrother used to drink vinegar straight. Loved it. I don't understand that stuff. And he talked about the health benefits of it too. And Dion says everybody needs CBD. Everybody does need CBD. Everybody needs CBD. Everybody needs cannabis. And it needs to be legal. And that is another thing we're fighting for here. We need to make cannabis legal. Shelley says they tried on the measles fear a few months ago, remember? Oh, yeah. They try to see what sticks. They got this to stick, though. I don't know how. People are buying out the shelves of Lysol because it says on it that it protects against the coronavirus. You don't understand. The coronavirus is a cold. Coronavirus is not new. Coronavirus is a type of virus. And all the viruses in the common cold are mostly coronaviruses. So this is not some weird pandemic going on where everyone's going to die. We're being manipulated and held down by fear. Fear of getting incredibly sick off the common cold. Yeah, Jonathan, there's an endocannabinoid system in every single human. Animals too. You know, deer love marijuana. Deer will eat it out in the wild. You have to get them out of your crops. Animals love. Rabbits do too. There are a lot of animals that understand the need for cannabis. They're ahead of us humans. We're way back in the dark ages when it comes to that. Jack says vinegar's good for you too. Like I said, my brother swore by it. Would drink it straight out of the bottle. Some of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. But, because I can't even stand the smell of it. Jonathan says clove. Yeah, but see, that's the kind of things they don't want you talking about, is like natural cures. That's another thing that would be demonetized and unpopular speech. They don't want anybody talking about any of these things. They want everybody ignorant and dumbed down. Jason says it would have been organic apple cider vinegar with Mother Mate. I could see drinking that over this, but he would drink any vinegar. If there was vinegar in the house, he would guzzle it. It was really kind of weird. Helen says, I love vinegar. You would get along with them. You and my brother. But no, guys, this coronavirus, this fear propaganda, it's fear porn. They are doing all they can to convince people they need to be scared to death over the common cold. Jonathan says, look at any subject censored and connect the dots. There is massive censorship going on in the world, but in America for sure. And you know, people get upset about the Second Amendment, and rightfully so. They get up in arms about that. But when are we going to worry about the First Amendment? When are we going to worry about the death of the truth? The death of information, of knowledge. That's what's literally happening. That's what we're heading towards. If we allow ourselves to let it. Kilo says that drug companies and the media are cashing in. Oh, how long before there's a vaccine for COVID-19? Kilo says seems like everything is fear propaganda. There's a whole lot of it. Fear is what keeps people in line. Fear is what helps keep us down and helps keep us controlled. They want us afraid always. They want us good and afraid because that keeps us dumb and easily led. But I can't believe how effective a lot of this propaganda actually is. And how much they're able to fool people. It's really starting to aggravate me. And that's why I called this Things Are Not Okay. I didn't know what else to call it. Just no matter how we feel, we need to all come together and figure out what to do. Because big picture, we're in big trouble. Everybody has to understand that much. If we can all just agree on that much, I think we can make progress here. We're smart, we're creative, we can figure something out to wake these people up. The media is very powerful. The indoctrination system in this country is very powerful. But I refuse to believe that we can't break through it, because we must. Because I can't just lay down. I don't know what to do. The only thing that will stop this, that will lead us to real change and progress, is waking enough people up. And if we don't figure out a way to do it, we are screwed. And I'm not overreacting. Babus thinks I'm overreacting. What do you think? Am I over or underreacting? Because I'm telling you, what's coming out of my mouth doesn't match what's happening inside. I am a stewing, over-boiling pot of emotion right now. I'm aggravated. I'm just aggravated over how stupid people are. How easily led and dumbed down society is. And you're being shown that right now on multiple levels and in multiple ways. And it's scary. Kilo says, I think we're screwed. I'm worried. I'm worried, brother. I don't like to feel that way. I don't like to feel that way. But I am worried. I am scared. Jonathan says, truly enjoy your show, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you for saying that. Because this one, I was afraid to go live. I honestly was. I was scared to go live because I am scared. I am. I'm terrified. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. You know, I was ignoring the coronavirus, the fear propaganda, because that's exactly what it looked like to me, was fear porn. And I knew that's what it was. But when I looked into it, like really looked into it, and do it for yourself. And you can do it on mainstream sources. Like I used the CDC's website. Compare it to the flu. Compare it to pneumonia. Compare it to almost any other common illness. And you'll find that it is nothing to be so terrified about. Nowhere near as extreme as it's being portrayed. And so what's going on? What is happening? They're quelching mass uprisings all over the world with it. No matter how you feel, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, everything's very, very bad right now and things are not okay. That's the best way I could think to describe it. Everyone needs to care. This is so bad. Kathy says Fahrenheit 451. I need to read that one. I have seen the Venn diagram that shows all the different dystopian novels and how we're like right in the middle. And it's very true. I haven't read Fahrenheit 451, but I've read Brave New World in 1984. And I really feel we're in a merger of the two. There was a really good video done by TrueStream Media where they talked about how I hate when this happens. I'm going blank on the Aldous Huxley wrote George Orwell a note talking about how you got it wrong in 1984 and I got it right. It's going to be a scientific way that they control humanity, and you were wrong about it being all Big Brother. But it's really a marriage between the two. You could take those two books and kind of meld them, and you get our current situation. Kathy says, my husband was stunned at the. You always use word. You need to send me a word a day dictionary because you have a big vocabulary, which I forbid him. Vehemence. How do you even say that word? To know dandelions in our yard. You are not overreacting. Thank you. Yes, dandelions are the very first food for bees. Bees are important, and dandelions are pretty. I don't understand people rushing to get rid of dandelions anyway. Kathy says I catch Sean every time I can. Oh, you guys are sweet. Like I thought this was going to be all over the place. I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm upset that they're running a man with dementia for president, trying to squelch a uprising of the people with their media and fear propaganda being poured endlessly on humanity over the coronavirus, which is what a virus in the cold family is called. It's a type of virus. It's not even the name of the damn thing. You know that Corona beer has suffered a loss in their stock value because there are people that are so stupid that they actually believe it has to do with the beer. Kathy says that read The Handmaid's Tale. There is an interesting show, and is it close to the book, that is on Hulu, The Handmaid's Tale, right? Steve says, I think the problem is, Sean, not the mortality rate, but the fact that it's super contagious and it can mutate. Well, yes, it can. But the cold is super. It is a version of the cold. It is a version of a cold virus. So the cold is very contagious. And it's just as dangerous to people with weak respiratory systems, extreme cases of the cold, or pneumonia, or the flu. So those are all very contagious as well. And they can all actually mutate. But I think I know where you're going. I think I know what you're hinting at. And that is the fact that this may not have had natural origins, which I am totally open to. So in that way, it is a little more dangerous. But still, a 2.3 mortality rate for an illness is not on the scale of when you compare it to other illnesses, common illnesses. It's not any more dangerous than any of these others. So why aren't we shutting down the Olympics over the flu? Because, what, 4 times more people have died in the same period of time over the flu than the coronavirus. Oh, Steve, no, it's not. It's not possible that that many people voted for Biden. There's massive rigging going on. An election's being rigged. You know, and I shared this only one time. And the one place I shared it to is my favorite truth group. But they don't agree with me politically. But do you agree that an election is being rigged? You know, I have Trump supporter friends. Because I don't live in an echo chamber. And they personally reached out to me this morning. They actually feel bad for me. So I know you see it. And everyone should be concerned. An election's being rigged. In America, we go to war over this around the world. They sell you on going and sending our troops to die over this kind of thing in another country. It's happening right here. May not be happening on your side, but things are not okay, guys. In a big, 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 big way. And I realize that side, the right, seems to believe that they'll be just fine everything's going to work out for them because they like their current situation. But please realize that the powers that be also like your current situation, and they're showing you that they don't intend to win. Why is that? That should bother you. I'm just talking common sense right now, not talking politics. Politics is divisive. This whole stream is about what we should do. That's why I want to know what we should do, because things are bad, and I believe they're set to get worse. And I believe it's on us to do what needs to be done. Shelley says, I've read Orwell and Huxley, but not Handmaids. Is it a good read? I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I trust Kathy, so I'm going to probably get it. I'm going to have to visit the library, which means I'm going to have to pay my exorbitant library fee. I lost a book, y'all, which is like the worst thing you can do at a library is lose a book. So I'm going to have to come up with $18 before I can go into the library and get anything from them. But I may have to go and purchase it. Maybe it's worth the purchase. My wife has one of those apps on her phone where you can get books. I think I might get one of those. I need to do more reading. Kilo says it's definitely infuriating. We have someone who actually cares about us to his bones and he's getting screwed. That man went through all of this humility for us. That man has dedicated his life to fighting for the people. And again, no matter how you feel politically, shouldn't that matter? You got a lifetime of integrity against the corporate establishment. And they're not afraid of losing. They would be very comfortable running a man with dementia who can't finish a speech and will never, ever be able to last in a debate with Donald Trump. They could protect him from Bernie Sanders, but how do they plan to protect him from Donald Trump? Donald Trump will eat him alive, tear him to shreds, no mercy. Good. I'm glad, because I won't be voting green if this happens. I honestly think our next move is going to the streets. But if I was to cast a vote, if they do that, it would be to vote against them, to directly vote against them. Steve says they say you can catch corona from standing 6 feet from someone or 10 minutes of exposure. Movie theaters come to mind, or schoolrooms. What, do we quit going to work? Do we quit going to the grocery store to shop? I'm not going to live in fear of the cold. And everybody needs to inform themselves that the coronavirus is no more dangerous than the flu. And I would never go and get a flu shot, and they're free at Walgreens. I'm not afraid of the flu. I don't live in constant fear of the flu. And 4 times more people die from the flu. And I can catch the flu from 10 minutes of exposure around someone with the flu, or in a movie theater, or at work. Most people can't afford to call in sick. People are around you all the time that are sick in all kinds of different ways, and you're exposed to all kinds of different viruses. And if your immune system is weak, then that danger is real for you. So this is an issue for that type of person, but so is any other virus. And you can get the common cold. Is that contagious? You see what I'm saying? Because they're the same type of virus. They're in the same family, so they're going to act and behave in the same way. Holy shit, really? Helen says Weinstein got 23 years. Really? Unreal. Unsupervised in his own wing in a private cell where he can come and go only on weekends? Did he get an Epstein deal, or did he get 23 years of hard time? Is he going to Rikers Island? I mean, come on, what's going to happen? Is he going to a real prison or a country club prison? Steve says Trump will start immediately attacking Biden's dementia. He already has. He already has, and he should. And good. Good. And do you think they don't know that? The Democrats are very well aware of what Trump's going to do and what's going to happen to Joe Biden in a debate with Donald Trump. They are well aware of it. They are intending to lose on purpose. And that should show everyone that they are not afraid. And I don't know why that doesn't show you. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. So the only real fight that's going on is the actual uprising that's being suppressed. The only thing that will ever make real change is people standing up and stopping this hero worship anyway, taking responsibility. And I think a big way we do that is waking people up. That's my contribution to what we do here. No matter how you feel, everyone's got their own issues. Everyone has their own things they're passionate about and their own feelings and the way they care and respond to different stimuli and things that are happening. We're all individually different, and that's beautiful. So if you're working towards progress and change and taking down the powers that be, then we're on the same team. And I just want to hear from anybody. See you later, Steve. Steve's got to go to work. I happen to be off today. I'm lucky enough to have the day off, but I do have a doctor's appointment later on. That's the only thing I have to do today. So I'm lucky, but I don't have the type of job where weekends mean anything. You know, my weekend usually happens on Tuesday and Wednesday. Jack says Bernie won 23 states in 2016 against Hillary. Now how is he losing to Joe? Massive rigging, media manipulation, propaganda, and the stupidity, the terrifying amount of stupidity that you see in the average individual walking around in the streets. They believe everything the TV tells them, and they don't have the ability to think for themselves. Jonathan says, we tried a real strike nationwide and the government didn't budge, and people went back to work. People want to fight, but they are too busy trying to survive. They are held down by this system. An uprising in America would be very hard. It would be very, very, very hard to pull off. The average American, we feel like we're so strong and we're so free and we're so brave and we're so great, but we're really weak and dumbed down. Not those of us that are aware, again, but we can't focus on us. We have to focus on society. And I think we can all agree that the average person is dumbed down to a level that is frightening. It's terrifying. And the only way to get past that is to wake people up. Helen says Weinstein was up for 5 to 29 and got 23. Good. Good. I hope it's in an actual prison. Kilo says I'm off too playing hooky. And he says the DNC had a few years to come up with multiple ways. There is massive manipulation going on to stop an uprising. It's not an election. I'm not political. I don't believe in politics. Our political system in this country is a joke. And I think we should all be able to agree on that too. It is rigged and manipulated, and we don't have true democracy. We never will without the people waking up to that fact. We'll continue to get played like idiots against each other. And anytime something real comes along, it will be squelched and eliminated and hidden, suppressed and killed off. Because the media will never, and the powers that be will never use their weapons to promote us. The TV is nothing but lies. The radio, the newspapers. You want real truth, you have to find it for yourself. And I think we all understand that, no matter how you feel politically. We need enough people to wake up, to realize what's going on and what's happening in the world. Can't get everybody, but can we get enough of these idiots to stop listening to that lying ass box in their living room? I hope so. Because I was mad, honestly. Like I said, Babos thinks I'm overreacting. I don't think I am. Yeah, Helen. Helen says the Biden map looked like Bernie in 16. Nothing hinky here, folks. He won Michigan. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm not saying that because I'm whining. I'm saying it because it doesn't make any sense. The F word tried to come out. Kathy says, I hope he gets real prison too. Yeah, that's what he deserves. That's what would happen in a just society. But we don't live in a just society. I'm actually surprised Weinstein got 23 years. I just hope it's not at a place where he's going to play tennis every day and get to enjoy his life. Did you see that pathetic pervert walk in a walker to court to try to garner sympathy? I'm glad that didn't work. Kathy says almost a carbon copy, only this time it went to the dark side. It didn't, though. This is not on the up and up. This is not legitimate what's happening. This is being manipulated. It's being rigged. This is a rigged election in the United States of America, and it needs to matter to absolutely everybody. You know, I had Trump supporters reach out to me today, talking about how there should be a march or some kind of movement about this, and they would support it. Because they care too. It means something to them. It's democracy. It needs to matter to everybody. This is important what's going on. And really, anyone that's turning a blind eye to the evil in this world is the enemy. That's my enemy, not someone who disagrees with me. I want to be open to those people. I want to be open to that because I want to grow. I want to advance. So I can't be focused on only my side and my team. That's going to keep me from a vast majority of people who are interested in progress and change and won't get it because we're being too stubborn to keep an open mind. The enemy's the enemy. We all have the same enemies. I think we need to learn how to fight together. Quit getting divided. That's how we get past this. Kathy says, you're so right. This should matter to every American. Everyone. Everyone. You know, I shared this, like I said, I only shared it one time. One time. I shared it to one place. It's one of my favorite groups on Facebook. I don't agree with them politically, but they are truthers. And it needs to matter to everybody what's going on right now. I am begging anyone that cares about the truth to spread the truth that an election is being rigged in this country in plain sight. It doesn't matter how you care or feel or if you agree with the person being screwed over in this election. There are real people, and this is a real election. It needs to matter to everybody. And if it doesn't, then democracy doesn't mean shit. We don't need to be voting for anyone, and it all needs to be burnt to the ground. Because there's no chance for progress or advancement in it. It's a joke. It's WWE for people that don't like wrestling. It's entertainment. None of it matters. Jimbo says it's not rigged yet. Most crazy Dems know they need to unite to attempt to beat Trump. Michelle Obama will be Biden's VP. They will hospitalize Biden 6 months in. It's not rigged. Oh, it's rigged. And I've heard about them flirting with Hillary Clinton as a VP as well. You understand how bad this is? And they won't win. They won't beat Trump. I don't care who they pair him with. I honestly don't. I was trying to think of somebody popular they could put him with, and I couldn't think of anyone. Put him with Oprah. It's not going to matter. Joe Biden will not win. He cannot beat Trump. Can't. Were they going to have Michelle Obama debate for him? Are they going to have Hillary debate for him? I saw a piece from The Onion where it said they were going to do that, let surrogates debate for Joe Biden. And I had to double check that it was from The Onion because it's not even that unbelievable. At this point, it is insanity what's going on. And we all know I am emotionally involved in this revolution. But whether you are or not, it needs to matter because it's a rigged election in the United States of America. It needs to be important to everybody. Things are not okay. This is not okay. I'm smoking too much. I'm upset today. Jason says, change yourself, love others, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at will change. AOC 2024 with Bernie is Grand Poobah. AOC is, I'm not feeling AOC right now. You know, AOC is pushing blue no matter who. AOC is an enemy of progress. She's not a friend of the people. I'm not big on AOC. She's talking about supporting the nominee no matter who that ends up being. I don't feel that way. Matter of fact, I will work actively against the nominee if it is not Bernie Sanders. I will work on the opposing side. Last time I went green. But I will actively work against this. I will not let this stand. I will join the dark side. You know, I'm starting to understand. There's a lot of burners that went that way. And I didn't understand it at first, but I'm starting to understand it now. Jason says that's what Bernie's going to do. What, endorse the nominee? Then at that point, he will be dead to me as well. I think I've explained over and over again, this is my last stand politically. This is all of our last stand politically. You know, being how I did only share this one time, they are fans of Trump. It's a Q group. That's why I shared this. I only shared it one time to a Q group. And they are fans of Trump. They also know that there is a theory that Trump is a time traveler. There's a book written about him called The Last President, and he very well might be. I just want to let that simmer for a minute because I know I'm the conspiracy guy. I know that I have the tinfoil hat and all that. And I think things are bad, but I'm not wrong. I wish I was, but I'm not. Things are bad. Things are heading in a direction to be a lot worse. Jack says, get to know your neighbors. Get them involved with you. But I don't like my neighbor. I don't know the one on the other side. But the one on this side, I don't like. He's not very nice, and he tore up my driveway. Oh, Jack, yes. Oh, yes. This does go to direct action. This is my last political fight. But I will not give up on this revolution. This is the only thing that makes change when people stand united by the millions. So I hope that we understand that we must continue forward no matter what happens. No matter what happens. Kilo says Bernie has always said he would support the nominee no matter who. He's honest, so he will. And that is the day we part ways. Until then, I am pushing for Bernie. But I understand that you guys are right. Do I think Bernie will storm out of the convention and take us to a third party? No. I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. That's why I said that I think we all need to understand that this may need to continue on without him. I hope it doesn't, but it might. And I will abandon people like AOC and anyone politically that supports the nominee, supports Joe Biden. I think anybody at that point, anybody that does that exposes themselves as an enemy of the people. And at that point, nothing they say can be listened to. And I include anyone that has endorsed Biden up until this point. They are not to be listened to. They work for the establishment. That includes Andrew Yang. What does the Yang Gang think about that, by the way? Andrew Yang has come out and endorsed Joe Biden. What's the Yang Gang think? Any Yang Gang here? We should ask the Yang Gang what they think about that. It doesn't surprise me. Andrew Yang was only in the damn race to sell UBI. This is all conditioning. Andrew Yang is an establishment plant, and he was there to sell universal basic income to the people. We're heading towards bad times. Everybody needs to realize that. And without massive change, we're in big trouble. And no matter how you feel politically, I hope you see that. Without massive change and without the people getting massively involved in a massive awakening, and I'm saying massive a lot, and I refuse to stop saying, I'm not going to say massive anymore. Without all of that, this is impossible. And we're screwed. So it must happen. Kilo says, I'm personally Bernie or bust, so it doesn't make much difference to me. I'm Bernie or vest, bro. I'm done with politics after this. Head to the streets. A yellow vest movement like what you're seeing in France. There needs to be an uprising of the people. And Steve was right earlier. Steve said that they won't allow an uprising in Milwaukee. They've already got 4,000 cops booked to work Milwaukee. And they'll bring in more if they think we're going to rise up. But that's exactly what we need to do, and we can't be afraid. I'm sure they'll try to scare us with a coronavirus outbreak. Oh, I definitely see that. They might quarantine the whole town. Kathy says, I know, right? I had to do a double take on that one. Oh, Yang? Not me. Not me. I was waiting for him to do it. All logical signs point to him endorsing Bernie Sanders, but I knew there was no way in hell Andrew Yang was going to endorse Bernie. And Elizabeth Warren won't either. I'm surprised she hasn't endorsed Biden yet, and if it's happened during this stream, it wouldn't surprise me if it happened yesterday and I didn't notice it, because I tried to stay away from the news yesterday. It's disgusting what's happening. What's happening in this country right now is terrifying. Kilo said he's a sellout for doing what he said he's going to do. Thought a sellout was the opposite, but okay. Yeah, I mean, Bernie is going to do what Bernie said he was going to do. Bernie is a man of integrity and a man of his word. So I am happy with what Bernie's done for us. And I don't feel like this is Bernie's job or Bernie's responsibility. I'm just saying that we would be going in two separate ways at that point because I don't feel like this ends. And I can't fight on the same side as someone that would endorse a man that is mentally unfit for the job he's being proposed for. Everybody needs to be against this. Everybody. I'm not pouting. I'm not being a baby. I'm not being a spoiled brat. I'm being realistic. I'm being honest. This is a big problem. And everyone needs to care. Everyone needs to wake up. Everyone. And realize what's happening. Kathy says she'd forgotten about Andrew Yang till he endorsed Joe. You know, he also got a job as a CNN contributor. Andrew Yang's a sellout. Jack says, fuck their cops. We, the majority of the people, will bring our own cops. The cops are our enemy. The militarized police will be used against us. We are heading for dark, dark times. I really believe that. I don't think that that is fear propaganda. I wouldn't be saying it if I didn't really believe it. I think that the rug is going to be pulled out from common Americans, and we're in for a shock. Kathy says, I brought up resource-based economy with my dentist receptionist this morning. She was not receptive to the idea. Jack says he should because I do believe he could win as an independent. I believe so too, and I just don't expect that out of him. I don't expect him to do it. I hope he does, but judging him on his past behavior, he will most likely do what he said he would do. That'd be the way I would bet if I was going to put my money on it. But I hope he understands. The man's 78. I hope he understands that this is a last stand type of situation. There is no, we vote for Joe and everything will be okay. That's bullshit. It's a lie. And to tell people that is dangerous. And he hasn't even done it yet. So I'm not going to judge him on it. But when he does, we will part ways. But I'm not going to hate him for it. I own this fight as our responsibility. Again, no matter how you feel politically, it's our responsibility. Now, I'd love to see you on our side, but as long as you're pushing for change and progress and you're pushing against the lies and pushing against the militarization of police and pushing against the greed and the evil that's lording over society, if you're fighting back against those things, and we're fighting together. But if you're on the side of the establishment, matter of fact, I've made a decision, and I don't usually do this. I don't like to create an echo chamber on my Facebook. I include people of all different views. But today, if you are ranting and raving and supporting and congratulating and talking in any positive way about Joe Biden, I'm getting rid of you. I'm removing willful ignorance from my life. That is the decision that I've made. And on social media, I've kept them around because, again, you can't get through to anyone if you keep yourself locked off in an echo chamber. So I've kept them around. But if you're positive about Joe, if you're a Joe Biden fan, if you're that ignorant, I got to get you out of my life. I can't keep exposing myself to that level of stupidity. And I realize a lot of them are trolling. A lot of them are paid. There's a massive amount of paid trolls being used. There were last time, but at this point, it's a lot more. Bloomberg is still financially involved in this, and he was giving people jobs at $2,500 a month for social media. Trust me, that's still going on. So I know that a large percentage of them are those people as well, but I'm still eliminating it. Kathy says, I'm of the same mind, Sean. We are being herded into disaster, and the vast majority of the electorate are willing to be cajoled off the proverbial cliff. Yeah, I'm sick of it. So I'm eliminating that stupidity. And again, like I only shared this one time, and they support Donald Trump. I'm keeping them. I might get more. They're fighting. They care. They're passionate. Maybe one day we'll agree with each other. We won't if I keep myself in a bubble, but I'm removing stupid people. If you're blue no matter who or an establishment lover, because that's exactly what you are at this point. I can't even call you a Democrat because you're led by fear and you're ignorant. You're willfully ignorant. You're an enemy of progress, and I'm eliminating those people. I'm done with that. Jack says Joe is not okay. I repeat, Joe is not okay. Joe is not well. Joe is not well. He's mentally unfit, and it will be exposed in the general election. This will be a joke. Are we going to allow that? Are we going to allow that? Are we going to allow our electoral process to be turned into a literal joke? For a man with dementia to stand up there and struggle against Trump in debate after debate? Are we going to let this happen? You know, there's an Operation Chaos on the right to try to get Joe Biden elected, to try to get him up there with Trump. Is this funny? Is this funny to anybody? Does anybody think this is funny? We're going to look like fools. And they don't care. I'm not too upset. That's why I've decided in an hour and 20 minutes. I've decided that Bebos isn't upset enough. I'm not outraged too much. I'm not too upset about this. This is a big deal. This matters. This is important. It's disgusting what's happening. It's disgusting that it's working. It's terrifying how stupid people are. The average person is so dumb. Willfully ignorant. That's the worst part about it. It's by choice. They don't have to be. They could inform themselves. Jack says Bloomberg got back $2 billion in federal taxes. That's free money for him to piss away. And he's using it to undermine democracy. His bonus check. That's what Bloomberg did with his tax refund. You know, you might have bought a couch or a TV with yours. Bloomberg's buying democracy with his. He's a literal oligarch, the ninth richest man in the world. Kilo says, blue no matter who is bull. Voting party loyalty has led us into this mess. When politicians can count on your vote without earning it over time, this is what you get. They are idiots. Blue no matter who people, they don't think. They're sheep. Literally. You know, I was trying to get away from that term, but there's no better term. Kathy says, I think my mom's Oklahoma friends all voted Biden, but they're 70 plus. Age is not an excuse for ignorance. I'm done accepting any excuses. Knowledge is out there. Staying blind to it is a choice. And if you're making that choice, you're an enemy to progress. You know, like I said, I'm okay with you disagreeing with me. But I'm not okay with you being willfully ignorant. That's not okay anymore. We got to wake these people up, though. So, I'm angry. I'm angry with them. But we've got to get creative because, like I said, man, things are not okay. I don't know what other way to say it. And we all need to figure out what to do because we're in big trouble if we don't get people to wake up. What good is it to be woke if we're not waking others? There's no point to it. We can't just pat each other on the back anymore. We have to get aggressive. The media must be brought down. Kilo says it happens on both sides of the fence. Party loyalty is dangerous. Yes, it is. To buy into politics and to break yourself off into teams makes us weak. It's divisive. That's what it's for. Kathy says it matters who. Blue no matter who disgusts me. Blue no matter who should disgust everyone. It's a disgusting way to think, and it's insane. It's the literal definition of insanity. To keep doing the same thing expecting different results is insanity. And that's what blue no matter who is. It's literally insane. It makes no sense. And I tried. I've exhausted myself trying to get through to these people. I've kept them around, but they're exhausting. They're mentally exhausting to me, and I got to eliminate them. So like I said, I've never really done that. I don't like to block. Matter of fact, I like to get you to block me. But I'm eliminating stupid. Today I'm in a full-blown attack against stupid. So I'm going to clear up some room. And can I ask a weird question real quick, just while there's some people here? How come on Facebook some people now have more than 5,000 friends? Why is that a thing? Is anyone seeing that besides me? I'm seeing people with more than 5,000 friends. Kathy says socialism to them is a terrible, scary word. People are afraid of change. People are scared to death of change and progress. People are led by fear. It's a combination of fear and stupidity. There's a lot we have to overcome, but we have got to get creative. We've got to do it. We've got to wake people up. And they are preparing to beat us down if they have to, and they will. And is everybody just going to watch? You know, like I said, they've already got 4,000 cops booked for Milwaukee. We're going to wait till it's too late. What about when they shut down cities over the coronavirus? People going to rise up then? We're going to care about it then? When are we going to care? When are we going to wake up? When are we going to panic? Babel says I'm too upset. I don't think I'm upset enough. Things are getting ready to get really bad. It's past time to wake up. It's way past time. Hey, Nissa. What do you think, Nissa? What do you think we should do? What would work? What would jar people awake? You know? What's it going to take? You ever wonder? I'm afraid. I'm afraid that people just don't want to see. Bernie won Washington. I was close. This is just bullshit what's going on. It's tragic. And I'm upset. Clearly. I could have called this feed I'm Not Okay. Because I'm not. But this is not all right, what's happening. Nissa says fraud. Oh, Jack, you wish you could go there now to Milwaukee? You going to be there? I'm going to have to figure something out. I don't know what I'm going to do, but they've cut my hours so much because right now is our slow period. So I'm going to have to figure out financial way to maybe a second job or something. I'm going to have to get creative because I got to be there. I don't want to miss it. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid of what's going to happen with the police there. And I'm afraid of what we're up against. but not so afraid that I won't be there. So I hope people will care. I hope people will wake up, become aware of what's going on both sides of the aisle, because we may need you to care as Americans. It's going to get important that you care. But we've been talking for a while about what's wrong, and Jack says, I need a job. I might need another one. I'm going to have to get something going. I got to. Because we'll pick up, like, but I don't know. That's when the busy time is going to be, right around the time of the convention. So I'm going to see what I can do. I'm going to try really hard. But like Jonathan said earlier, we are slaves to our jobs. We are in a tough situation. It's scary. But my dog is getting mad at me, and I've got to let her out. And I've got a lot of work to do today. I've got to work on a video for tonight, Conspiracy Theories and Chill tonight. And let me know what you guys think we should talk about on Conspiracy Theories and Chill tonight. What the topic should be, because that's what I'm going to be working on right after this. But thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. Thanks for letting me vent. And let me know if whatever you guys think is our best option moving forward, where we should go, where we should focus, and what we should be trying to do to wake people up. We've got to wake people up. Thanks for hanging out with me and letting me vent, guys. I'll see you next time. And I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. for Conspiracy Theories and Chill. And I don't know what we're going to be talking about yet. I haven't picked or settled on the topic. So let me know what you'd like to hear about tonight on the show. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out.